everybody. My name is Stanley Bear Thunderheart, but of course, you guys can go ahead and call me Bear for short. And who am I? Or what am I? Well, I am a masseur and a shamanic healer and an instructor. And so this video today will be about the 3 common mistakes that the conscious small business owners make that destroy their health and how to avoid these mistakes once and for all. And so basically, when people go into business, we get all busy as far as like conscious small business owners. Everybody gets busy to do their mission, to do the things that they want to bring back to the world so they can provide better for the world and for themselves. And yet, there's certain mistakes that happen along the way as everybody builds their businesses or their projects and things like that. So I, Bear, I'm basically here to point out certain things. And one of the mistakes that I'm going to point out is called Scarcity Consciousness. In case you don't know, here's the word, Scarcity Consciousness. Just to let you take a look at it briefly. Alright. Now, what is Scarcity Consciousness? It's very simple. And the definition is this: acting out of belief that there is not enough for oneself or for anybody. Or basically other names for it, you can call it desperation or poverty consciousness. And what this is basically about not having enough for anybody, or having this belief like, oh, I gotta get this now, or I gotta get all this food because it's not enough for everybody, it's not enough for myself. But really, it's really all in the mind more so than anything else, because there is enough for everybody. It's just that we've been programmed in our culture, in our society, to think that there's hardly enough for everybody, so you have to be a dog-eat-dog and have to fight for what you get, or fight for everything. Now, sometimes you have to, but not necessarily in the way that the society or the media has been programming all of us to think that we have to get everything. And it would not even just have to be just material things. It could just be your energy. It could even be just your time. Or you think you may not have enough time for yourself, or because you're so bombarded with so many projects that you maybe need to cut certain things down. So one of my key things as far as my experiences with dating women was that I used to think that there's not enough good women around for guys like myself. So instead of really trying to date women for a long time, I dated women, but I never really tried to get into relationships with women. And that was part of my challenges many, many years ago when I was younger, back in college in those days. And so I would just settle for just not dating, not having an actual stable relationship for a long time until, until of course, finally I had to realize that, there is enough, and there is somebody great for myself out there. That was before I met a woman in my life named Rainbow. And of course, I met others before her, but the bottom line is I used to think that there was not a good woman for myself. So this is part of the poverty consciousness, because I didn't have the confidence in myself at the time to not think that a woman was good enough for a woman or things like that. So, and also, another example for it is that, of course, feeding you can of course feed the birds and the ants and everything else. When you feed the birds and the ants, they don't have poverty consciousness because they know they can have enough for themselves and for everybody. And I guess that's only in a lot of our times humans, we think that we have to hoard everything just to get everything we want. And if you look at the way the birds eat and everything else, do they really need us to feed them? Not necessarily. They don't need us to feed them. But they'll take what we can give to them, because they'll build it upon themselves, or they'll find a way to make it. But what they do is they do find a way to make the best of things, and that's one of the key things that I've learned from my mother growing up. It's like whether you have certain things or not, whether you have the best or do you don't have the best. The bottom line is, whatever you do, wherever your circumstances, learn to make the best of things. And so that's one of the key things. I can thank my mother for teaching me these things. And then, of course, one of the other key things that I like to tell you regarding one of the articles from Steve Seibelt, basically this one article that wrote 5 traits the middle class don't understand about rich people. Now, why am I bringing up rich people for? Well, one of the key things that he did say regarding rich people is the wealthy are comfortable being uncomfortable. Well, that's one of the key things, because they're always striving for something better for themselves. They're always striving to grow and always keep moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, then let's move forward. Number 2, the wealthy dream about the future. Sure, it's always good to live in the present. It's always good to learn from your past. But you must always live in the future. And that's the key things that what's one of the rich people do. They always live in the future, meaning it's always about dreaming about the future so they can prepare for it. Not necessarily live in the future, they live in the present, but they dream about the future. Always planning ahead, rather than just living day by day. They plan for next week or next month and things like that. And also, number 3, the wealthy are more comfortable. They're actually more confident. They're comfortable, yes, in some ways, but really is the confidence that's really is the reason why they always go for, strive for something better and never really stay in their comfort zones for very long. See? And that's the thing that people need to understand, that the wealthy always go for something better for themselves. And also, of course, number 4, the wealthy believe money is about freedom, not about stability per se, not about security. Freedom. Only people who go for jobs go for job security. And that's something that people need to realize. And that's very important to realize that. So that's one of the key things that why conscious small business owners go for. Not necessarily for the security, but for the freedom. You can either have freedom or security. You really, in a sense, you cannot have both. But if you create your freedom for yourself, you can also build some security for yourself as well, and your family and those around you. And of course, the 5th one of it that he said was the wealthy carefully monitor their associations. So really, it's about figuring out and finding out who is best to be around you. You don't want to just choose just anybody to come to your circle, because not everyone's, first of all, is alignment with you energetically or mentally or a physical level. And on top of that, they may not have your philosophy. They may not agree with everything you do. And it doesn't have to. You don't have to agree with everything everyone does. The problem is that, if you grow to a certain level in your life of consciousness, there are certain relationships that need to be followed on the wayside, or at least, go to certain other people that are going to be on your like-minded and your same alignment. So let's just say if certain people grow up with their friends in the hood or in the ghetto areas, and let's just say the person went off and got rich and everything, the person really cannot just hang out with his friends as much anymore if he wants to maintain his fortune or maintain his way of life. And the new way of life that he built for himself, he's going to have to either find a way to bring them up so that they can go along with him, or he may have to leave them behind and find his new set of friends so that he can actually have the same mentality, have the same, goals and things like that. So it's very important that that this person moves ahead in ways that if he has to leave certain friends, he has to do that. So now, why am I talking about all this? What can happen if I don't fix this, as far as this consciousness? Well, here's another thing. Lack attracts lack. Pessimistic, mistrust, uselessness, closed to connection, limited to problem solving, difficult, limited, or effortful. That's basically what this means. You could, if you want to struggle, that's basically what you will attract. You will attract more struggle, in your life. That's why it is very imperative for people to solve this particular scarcity consciousness, or it's going to keep on having this particular, it will manifest into the physical in your life. And so one of my examples I will tell you is that one of my former friends, she basically had such a consciousness as far as scarcity consciousness that she used to have EBT cards. She used to have different, welfare cards. And what happened was she would go ahead and just pile up all her groceries, thinking there's not enough for everyone. But here's her problem. She did not even had enough to even afford all these groceries that she got from these stores. Even, when she had, different benefits like WIC and things like that. So, being as a man, she had to return some of the items back, and just so she could then keep the items that she could afford. Now, how stupid is that? But that was basically her mentality. The scarcity, where she had her cart full of groceries. It's ridiculous. So that's what happens sometimes when you have scarcity consciousness, that you don't necessarily think clearly. You don't think about overall what happens or how you look or how you feel or whatever, because you just have to just get everything now. And of course, back in the day, when I was a college student, I was very poor. I used to think, I used to very think poorly of, how I look at things. I used to look at things in such a pessimistic view that, well, I attracted a lot of that. I attracted a lot of misfortunes in my time because of the fact that I was not, looking at things a certain way. But once in many years of becoming mature, a healer, and a businessman, that's when I started attracting something, better for myself. So we always have to shift our consciousness, our mind, in order for better things to happen. Now, according to Dr. Carl Pickard in Psychology Today, 50% of the students failed to graduate from college in which they first enroll. And why is that? Because what he said was lack of conviction with their why, and that's a big why. And basically, we all need to have a why in our life. So let me continue this, and before I before I go off into a deep tangent here, lack of conviction with why will lead them into drugs, alcohol, broken relationships, broken jobs, broken promises, broken credit card commitments, broken grades, broken laws, broken leases. He says this is due to more freedom and responsibility. Sometimes, when people have a lot of freedom and responsibility, but yet doesn't have the discipline to be able to handle the freedom and the responsibility, it can become chaotic. So it's always very good for people to also have their why, because when they have their why, they can at least be able to have a clear idea in what they want and how they want out of their lives. So it's always good to have a big why for yourself in order for you to not have that scarcity consciousness. So that is basically how that goes. So in order for you to have not have such scarcity consciousness, it's always good to have your big why. So you will not have to focus on your scarcity consciousness. You just have to focus on what needs to get done and get them done and get yourself moving forward. So now another example I would like to point out is, of course, Abraham from Esther Hicks shares a technique to expand your feeling of prosperity. And one of the key things that he says, actually Esther says, is that mentally spend $100 a day in your mind and allow yourself to raise your vibration to feel expansive and abundance from it. So in other words, you have to not only visualize sometimes about having $100 and not spending that money a day, but even better yet, if you have a spare 100, do your best to put your $100 into another wallet, but do not spend it, and just walk around with the $100 without spending it for one day. And that's another good way of raising your vibration too. So if you have a hard time doing it with simply your imagination or just simply your visualizations, then use either play money from either Monopoly or something like that, or Cash Flow 101 from Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow game. Or what you can do is you can actually use a $100 bills or $250 bills or 520s will be good. Put it in your other wallet and just walk around with it. Just walk around with it, don't spend it, and you'll see the difference of how it feels, because then your vibration will start to raise and then you'll start to have more abundance from it. So anyways, now let's get to problem number 2. Problem number 2, it's very simple. It's another reasons why conscious small business owners have problems and their challenges in order for them to stay healthy, and that is missing mission. So let me go ahead and show you missing mission here. See it? give you about a few more seconds here for you to see that. Alright, good. That's long enough. Now, what is the definition for missing mission? And that is, when a person lives aimlessly without a strong purpose for living. So what are the other names for it? Like I said before, and I may have jumped the gun, but I will say it again. Lack of your big why. What is your why? Lack of purpose. So, of course, many years ago, when I first went into network marketing, I didn't necessarily have a purpose for going to network marketing other than trying to make some little extra money. But what happened was when I was going into it, it was like back in the day, network marketing wasn't still as big and popular back then. I'm talking about like almost 20 years ago or so. And so with that being said, when I tried to recruit people and everything, I didn't necessarily have a big why, so I didn't do as well. And eventually I ended up dropping out because I did not have a why of why I did it. I just wanted to make money. But making money isn't always good enough. You have to have something beyond your reason for making money. I mean, we all make money for one way or another, whether it's jobs or things like that, but you got to also have your why of why you want to do something like running a business. And so network marketing is part of running a business, and I did not have that mentality at that time of how to run a business like I do now. So, in any event, and then on top of that, one of the other things that I remember recalling was one of my people that I've known, Ray Halio. He lives for his mission to build a community where young people can be happy doing the things that they love through different forms of expression and art. Now, of course, he was also one of my clients that I've actually worked with. That as far as I've spoken to him, that's when I started finding out that he loves his mission and everything, and at the same time, as time goes along, I will get to certain things of what happened with him and why he was going through some pains and sicknesses and things like that. So now, why do we have to find out about our mission? Because if we're not too clear about it, then we end up lacking focus, planning, clarity, lacking the guidance, and hope without action or right action. And then the second part of it, you could be wasting your time, energy, and money. And then your third reason, and it could also be the fact is that people end up not trusting you, and you're not working smart. You're working too hard, but you're not working smart, and you're not producing anything. So without really having production for people to see, feel, touch, whatever, then it creates a lack of trust from people to you and your business, and then you're not going to be very successful as a conscious small business owner. So, and of course, many years ago, once I found my purpose in life, as far as not just for really in business, but just in my life in general, then that's when I started to really figure out ways of studying, and I'm not just talking about in my business, I'm talking about in my healing arts. Once I really found my purpose in it, that's when I started studying, that's when I started finding mentorships, and reading certain books of from different people, things like that, so that I can have more knowledge and structure in my thing. Now, of course, I can still have creativity, but at least I have now a foundation, whether it's before I did not have a foundation. So that's the difference maker right there. Now, of course, according to Bloomberg, from the newspaper from Bloomberg, 8 out of 10 businesses start up, but they end up failing. Within 18 months, 80% of them crash and burn. Why? Because of these things that which I speak of. That's one of the reasons why. I mean, these are the results I'm not making this up. These are the results that have been in the media and that have been the sources of information that which the researchers have researched on this. So these are the kind of consequences these are the consequences that can happen with your business if the fact is that you don't get the mission part straightened out. So that's the thing. So you always got to have your big why and always got to be working towards it. And always keep improving on it. Alright, one of the other key things that you can also explore is to go to a website called www.peakpotentials.com/how-to-feel-on-purpose. And well, let me read you this. And one of the key things that they said was your gifts plus doing something meaningful that benefit others plus attitude of happy and gratitude equals feeling on purpose and loving your life. What are they saying exactly? Well, let me reiterate on this. Excuse me. Monique McDonald was the person who originated this saying, and as far as attitude of happy and grateful and loving your life. Actually, that benefits others. So, in other words, she basically was saying that if you do things that benefit others, if you're happy and grateful with your attitude and loving your life, then that's how you find your big why. Excuse me. But Peak Potentials took it further and put it all together as using your gifts, using your talents, plus doing something meaningful that benefit others to help the world. And if you are having a grateful attitude and happy, it is all equal to feeling on purpose and loving your life. So it actually gets all together. So Peak Potentials really took it further and letting you know that if you, of course, use your gifts and do something meaningful to benefit others and you're feeling happy and gratitude, will then complete the full package of feeling on purpose and loving your life. So you will definitely be able to appreciate your what you may call. You'll also appreciate the reason why you're living, and at the same time, you will also have a purpose for it. So you'll love your life even further. It fulfills you, and you know, and so therefore, by having that purpose, by having the why, you can actually have your reason for living your life on this planet. So, in any event, let's move on. Alright, let's take a little break for a second, and let's get up, and let's stretch. Stretch out, reach. Now, you see these hands? Go ahead and reach them out to the sky. Go ahead and reach them out to the sky. Stretch for a second here. Yeah. Whew. And what I want you to do, I want you to use this hand, reach out, and say yes. Go ahead and pull the yes into your consciousness, not just in your consciousness, but into your being. Yes. 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 And that's what real champions in life do. From Tiger Woods. You know how Tiger Woods, they go yes when he makes his, hole, when he makes his goals and so forth, when he does his winnings, he goes yes. Basketball players go yes. Football players go yes. So all the people with winning attitudes in life, and they keep winning because they keep owning that win. So I just thought I'd let you know that. So so that's just another nugget that I wanted to share with you by reaching out and say yes. That's how you gotta do it. Let me get a little drink of water for a second here before I continue. Excuse me. So one of the key things I also want to let you know that at times when I talk so much for a long period of time, my throat gets a little dry, so I need to at least replenish it with water so I can be able to continue more effectively. So hold on. All right. Well, we can continue. And one of the key things before I continue to number 3 is that there's this particular librarian by the name of Ray. I remember when my wife Rainbow was talking to Ray about basically my massage practice, and of course this guy Ray, the librarian, he's like, "Well, I'm a masseur. That's what I done." And she was like, "Really?" She said, "Yes. I mean, I can massage my chest right here. I can have some candles, and I can line them up, and I can oil my body up, I can do this and all this other stuff. He's like, yeah, and my wife was all laughing at him. I mean, wow, my wife was all laughing at him, thinking that he was funny. And so what I'm basically pointing out here in this particular story, it was that you can still, use massage techniques to help yourself be more relaxed, especially if you're having a stressful day. You can find ways to how you can massage yourself. Techniques, of course, without being too funny about it, because he's just being a funny guy, but he also is serious, and I'm sure he does know the techniques of how he can massage himself. But in other words, you can find your downtime to relax yourself, to find your relaxation ritual. And that's basically the next point I'm about to talk to you right now. Number 3, the third point is no relaxation ritual. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. Actually, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Before we continue, I'm going to have you see it. Give you a few seconds here to see what it is, no relaxation ritual. Alright, I think that's long enough here. Now, basically, what this is, a relaxation ritual, is an established or prescribed procedure for relief from bodily or mental work. So what are the common names for this? Basically means downtime, or R&R, equals rest and relaxation. Very simple, right? But most people, as simple as it sounds, there are a lot of times most people don't do it. And I have been guilty of that too myself. So I should know what I'm saying here. Because we love what we do so much. We go. We are on fire of all different things, especially when we do new projects and things like that. And we don't take the downtime to say, wait a minute, we gotta stop, we gotta recharge ourselves. Whether it's through rest, sleeping, or we have to recharge ourselves by giving something good to ourselves. And so an example of it could be a massage, soak in the jacuzzi, and other things like that. You can also go swimming, just things like that. Now, one of the key things that you can do is watch my one of my videos called Bear Massages Clients, and it's going to be on YouTube by the username of Bear and Rainbow. That is BearandRainbow. So my YouTube channel is Bear and Rainbow. So that's one of my YouTube channels, actually. I have other YouTube channels too that I do have, but one of my main ones is Bear and Rainbow. And you can, like I said, once again, the name of the video is called Bear Massages Clients. So you can look at a demonstration on that. And also, of course, now we can also have an example, an opposite example of massaging or having a relaxation ritual would be alcohol, partying, drinking, drugs, and porn. Now, of course, for some people, for some people, that could be a form of relaxation. That's what a lot of people like to say. Unfortunately, that could also lead to abuse. Yes, I said it. It could also lead to abuse. It can also lead to abuse on a physical level, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. If you want to have some relaxation ritual, it needs to be very beneficial overall. The relaxation ritual needs to be an overall benefit that's going to not only be healthy for you, but you're going to continue on the path of health. And so alcohol, partying, drinking, drugs, and porn may seem like a relaxation thing, but it's only temporary. It's only a temporary fix. It's not necessarily something that's going to really help you. It's not going to something that's really be really relaxation. For some people it may be, but overall they don't know the overall consequences of doing it too much. Because let's be honest, the majority of the people in our society abuse things. And I know it sounds judgmental, but it's how it is. It's the fact. People abuse alcohol, people drive, they crash, they kill people, people party too much, they drink, do drugs, pornography, people, lose their minds, they get horny too much, they want sex, they abuse sex. It's just a lot of different abuses that can happen with all that. So these are the counters of rest and relaxation. So alcohol, partying, drinking, drugs, and porn are not necessarily a relaxation ritual. It is just simply a way to numb up certain stresses in life, and it's also a way to numb up certain issues that people have from within themselves. Well, that's one of the reasons why they do all these things, is because they have issues to begin with, but they don't necessarily go deep within themselves to solve these problems. Now, I'm talking about it from a shamanic point of view too. See, because a lot of the people, times when they do these things, they do these things to escape their regular reality, but also they do it to escape themselves, to escape whatever inner demons they have, and things like that. You see, and that's one of the key things that I also offer, in shamanic courses and so forth, to heal people from within their own selves, their past issues and things like that, when everyone's ready to. Even though I am talking about massages, but I will get to all this more so down the line. So let me continue on as to why we need to have the reason why what happens when there's no relaxation ritual. So what bad things could happen if you don't incorporate relaxation ritual? Of course, results could be, you could get sicknesses, right? You can have sicknesses. You could have low energy. And when you have low energy, you really can't do much in life. And of course, because of that, you can have resentment. You could be sabotaging, whether it's yourself or others. You could half-ass your work, or simply just do things half-ass in life, in general. And not just in your business, but in general. It could also lead to laziness and procrastination. So, one of the key things I would like to get back into the story of Rogelio was basically, make audience feel pain. And as far as what I'm talking about, as far as feeling pain is concerned, is that he was going through a lot of stuff. From his mom, because she was also an activist too, as far as everything else. But at the same time, though, he was working so much that when I had a consultation with him, for instance, him and his lover were telling me that they worked so much, they worked in so many projects that they felt they were working 9 days a week. That was his words. Those are not my words. Those are his words. And so, of course, in the feeling of his pain, with that, because, and what I mean by with the feeling of his pain, yes, I was able to sense what he was going through as far as the physical pain, but the fact that he had to say 9 days a week because he wasn't mentally clear, because there was times I would see him like this, he would slouch and things like that. He was definitely off time base and mentally. So, yeah, so basically, then on top of that, what happened was then they came up to my attention and also to Rainbow's attention that we also were working hard too, that we were also doing a whole lot as well for what we were doing. So it kind of reflected back on us. So it also taught me that I had to slow down what I was doing too. So there are times too when when people like us get clients in our lives, it will also attract clients that will reflect about what we're doing too. So just to let you be aware of that as well. Now, one of the key things, of course, that this guy was great at, of course, he was stretch, he was very flexible, he was athletic, he was a gymnast. And of course, in time when he was doing all these 9 projects, he also had the flu, and he was doing 9 projects at the same time. So in his situation, along with his lover's situation, was he and his lover were taking care of everyone else. They were running multiple schools. And I'm not talking about public schools. I'm talking about schools that are private or charter schools and things like that they are creating so that the kids could have a better future for themselves, artistically and in education-wise, being individuals. And of course, taking care of the students, employees, the events. They don't really have time to sit in their offices barely. And their body, especially Rogelio's body was always hurt. His body was in so much pain. And so, of course, he needed, of course, 1 hour massage, and because he was just overworking himself. He was just killing himself to death. And so, of course, what he needed to do was he needed to be reminded that he needed to have a relaxation ritual to have a part of his new balance. And so in order for that to happen, I had to tell him that rather than having 9 different projects, he needs to cut it down to at least 4 to 5 even. Maybe even 3. But at least do enough. He needs to do all these projects and finish them before he goes on to others. And that's what, I advise both of them, actually. And, of course, because of that attitude, and because of the fact that after I was done working with these guys, actually working with Rogelio for 1 hour, not just energetically, but also physically and shamanically, too, his attitude shifted. He was able to take a step back, and him and his, not to mention, like the last time I saw him was at a Halloween party. He did not look drained anymore. If anything, he looked strong again, like he was hulked up, basically, like energetically, because he was already built like a horse, with his body, because being a gymnast and everything else too. But he was happy again. He seemed happy again. He was dressed like a jester. He was crawling on with the kids, adults, and everything, doing the trick-or-treating and things like that. So it was actually good to see him happy. And, of course, about a couple months later, after that, him and his lover took a vacation and went on the vacation, actually left town. So that was actually very good. So those are the key things that what happened is once everybody finds out the relaxation ritual and stick with the regimen of it. So now, of course, in regards to that, according to the Touch Institute, fibromyalgia is a vicious cycle in regarding the body pain situation that I'm about to say. And so, of course, the less restful sleep you get, the more substance P is emitted to the more pain you have, the more difficulty you have sleeping. So basically what this is that if you have so much pain in your body that if you're not helping it or healing it by any means, whether it's massage work and things like that, then you're going to have problems sleeping. And if you have problems sleeping, the body has a problem recharging itself. You see, it's like sleep is another way to heal, too. It's another way of healing the body, but the body cannot heal itself if certain things don't go aligned, if certain things don't go right. It's almost like cars, for instance. If your brakes aren't well, you're not going to be stopping very well with your car. Especially if it gets to a point where it gets broken, then the car will go out of control, and you're going to crash, you're going to hurt somebody, or you're going to hurt yourself. So if certain things in the car doesn't work, and if certain things in the car doesn't work to a point where a car can function right, the body is made the same way. It's a machine too. It's just a biological machine, but it's a machine nonetheless too that needs to have all parts working. So that's one of the key things of what this source was saying about. Now, one of the key things that you can do to create your own relaxation ritual on your own, well, of course, will be if you can go ahead and go out and walk, walking many miles or walking laps at a park could be beneficial for you. And also look at nature. Looking at nature could be very serene. It can give you a peace of mind, give you a piece of way to detach yourself from society sometimes. Because sometimes society, we've got too much junk, too much pollution, too much noise, things like that. And so sometimes you have to look at nature, get in your nature, and really, collect yourself. And nature is a great place to do so, whether it's in the forests, canyons, deserts, and things like that. I'm talking about things away from majority of the people. So just let you know that. And listen to nice music like Beethoven. Just nice, calming music could be great. And or sometimes for some people it could be, heavy metal, things like that. As long as the music that you're listening to can really help you with your relaxation ritual, then by all means, go for it. And of course, a fresh air break. Sometimes it's just good to just sit down and just breathe in nice and breathe it out nice. And power naps are always great. I do that a lot, so power naps, I definitely suggest that you do it at least 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes even half hour, depends on, how long your breaks are and so forth. And of course, like what we did, it's always good to stretch. So that's all I'll let you know, it's always good to stretch. Now, one of the key things that I do want, as far as for you to do, to be honest with yourself about this, is how to incorporate a relaxation ritual. One of the key things I'd like to have you do is write a list of 10 things you consider saying no to in your schedule. Pick and circle at least 1 to 3 things you really say no to in order for you to integrate the relaxation ritual for your wellness into your daily and your weekly life. So basically, what we need to do at some point is we need to sit down and be honest with ourselves. What are we willing to say no to in order for us to make time to get the relaxation ritual? And now it's the same thing that Harriet had to realize too. What is he willing to say no to in order for him to have a relaxation ritual? And that we all have to do that at some point. So we might as well make a decision in what we want to do and how we want to make time to get a relaxation ritual. So, anyways, one of the key things I want to really be stressed about this is this. I have seen so many people, including many important activists in the community, struggle with to make money and undergo unnecessary body pain, stress, and burnout because they don't know how to relax their body. Now, it doesn't have to have a bad ending. It doesn't have to be this way. One of the key things that's, why I became an entrepreneur a decade ago. I put over 23 years of personal experience of being able to, I put over 23 years of personal experience of being and living here, on this planet as a healer, and want to see other conscious entrepreneurs like myself succeed. So this is why I offer healer massage for conscious small business owners. This is why I offered for those, because that's who I am. See, it just makes sense that way to do so. So, one of the key things I would like to ask is it okay if I share a little more about the program while giving you a few valuable tips? If so, then continue watching this video. If not, well, it was great talking to you, and have a nice day. So let's see. I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes to make a decision. Or a few more seconds, actually. Good. Well, we will continue on. Now, basically what this is the healing massage sessions are offered as option A and B. Option A includes massage and energy healing only. Option B includes shamanic healing sessions and massage. Now, healing massage sessions are 1 hour each for maximum support, time to easily receive deeper healing, and feel heard from me. So in other words, it's a time to basically you and I just simply talk. Simply see, how we're going, how's everything, how we're progressing, and how you're progressing. That's the most important. And we meet in wellness centers around Santa Fe, New Mexico for a comfortable and happy experience. You will be able to perform a relaxation ritual on either massage with bear or other wellness and shamanic strategies you can do on your own at your own home and time. So that's one of the key things. Now, one of the key things I want to explain about is that for let's see, there's this one particular hotel they call the Hilton Bora Bora Nui Resort and Spa, Well, one of the key things that people do pay for having a massage is that for the certain nihi package under hotels, that they pay at least $1,000 for the packages. That's how much they would pay to get a massage at the Hilton Bora Nui Resort and Spa. Now, one of the key things that the person did say in regards to reason why they're paying it that way is because it says this: it had a great view, wine, candles, facials, and 2 pretty ladies during the massage. I could ask them I could ask them to put more strength into the massage. Other than that, it was luxurious. So, what this guy was basically saying was that it had all these different fancy stuff from wine, facials, and different things like that. And, and basically the ladies were good with the massage, but they could put more strength. It was always luxurious. I am not as luxurious as that spa. I'm just going to let you know that. I definitely do the deep healing with not only energy, but also physically acupressure as well. And so as far as the pressure is concerned, and definitely I can definitely do that. Now, of course, I don't have candles and different things like that, so it will not, of course, be $1,000 that these people are going to be paying for the resort, the hotels. So one of the key things that I can do, though, is that, of course, one of the key things that I will actually ask of you is to always remind me of how hard or how soft or how much you want, because I don't always know my own strength on many levels. I don't always know my own strength on an energetic level. I don't always know my own strength on a physical level. So it's always good and very important for you guys, anybody that's going to be working with me, to let me know how much you want and how you don't want, or how much you want or not. So that will be a cool thing to ask. Now, if you feel moved to, go ahead and call the phone number below to book your healing massage breakthrough consultation with me, Bear. Now, my first healing massage packages cost less than that. So the investment of my healing massage packages, they do vary. They do vary. So that's one of the key things that I will, let you know that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely read a couple of testimonials of my clients that worked with me in the past. So here is Amanda Sena, business owners, and this is what she has to say. The healing, cleansing, and emptying of stress, an actual feeling of cleansing while being performed, the pressure acknowledgement of actual painful spots, and time to loosen those up. So that was Amanda Sena, the business owner. Now another one, of course, is Kyle Wright, a pro mixed martial arts fighter. Because anybody that knows me, I love mixed martial arts too. But I love martial arts in general. As a matter of fact, how I started in the healing arts was through the martial arts, actually. And so if you guys go look at my website at healingmassageunlimited.wordpress.com, and you actually take a look at my origins, you'll be able to get to know more why and how I got into the healing arts. But let me get to this guy, Kyle Wright, pro MMA fighter, and he says this: the pressure points alleviated long-standing pain, and by the end of the session, I felt much lighter and more mobile. Now, one of the key things that he didn't say, that I'm going to say, is that, of course, he also went to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. He actually traveled to California for that, in San Diego, actually. And this is a Jiu-Jitsu tournament that he was participating in. Now, he was already a pro MMA fighter, he was already a pro complete MMA fighter. But this was a Jiu-Jitsu tournament itself. And after I was done with him about a couple of days later, he actually went in there and won the whole thing. So that just shows you, how good and how great a massage can really do. It can make a whole difference in the world. Of course, the guy was skillful enough anyway, but all the difference in the world that it made for him to actually be at 100% in order for him to compete. So, anyways, and so if you want to have the same kind of results, or even better for yourself, what happened to Pro MMA Fighter, all you gotta do is call the number below free healing massage breakthrough consultation, and either my staff or I will help you get signed up. So, I mean, these are the kind of things that can really change your outlook. You can shift your life. Now, you say you want to get rid of pain, stress, or burnout. You're sick and tired of it. I can help you with that. Within the first few years of my healing path, I too have made mistakes. I had to use mentors to teach me the healing arts in a proper fashion. Because let's be honest, mentors held me accountable to do the things right without making mistakes so I could be more helpful to people. I want that to be the person for you. I want to be that person for you, in other words. I want to make it easier for you to get the relaxation ritual you deserve. No, most people will not take action if they don't know or if they don't do it now. Are you going to be one of those that just walks away from your step of wellness? It's your choice. It's your life. If you're gonna have a choice and have a life, at least make it the best one for yourself. So, what I urge you to do is book your healing massage breakthrough consultation. The faster you will be on your way to wellness, the better your life will be. It is a 45-minute complimentary consultation to find out 3 things. 3 things. 1, what's standing in the way? 2, what are the strategies? And 3, to see if it's a match. Basically, we're a match to each other. And if it's a match, then we can discuss the investment options. That's the only time that you're going to find out the investment options. So, there's a first-timer special. It only have a certain number of slots available per week. So reserve your spot now. And so, to meet again, I am Standing Bear Thunderheart, and my name is Bear. So, to your wellness and good luck. And if you don't find me to be the person, at least get help somewhere for yourself. With that being said, I'm going to get going. Take care, everybody, and many blessings to you all. Healing is all that is.